All right. Good morning, guys. Morning. Good morning. How we doing? Yeah, pre-market move on FedEx. Yeah, I miss it when everything's overvalued and it was easy to make money. Yeah. Excuse me. I don't know why I have phlegm in my throat. Yeah, it's that's sort of what it seems, right? Overpriced tech is based on hope. Yeah, it's been a lot of overpriced tech, right? Are we starting to see that? Are we starting to see some of that? We losing some of that steam on tech. It's definitely what it seems like recently, guys. So, hope everyone's having a great week so far. It's been definitely a tough week for me, guys. I have been, I haven't been right on a lot of the stuff I've been looking at. I've been sort of chopped up. I've lost a few $100 yesterday. I've been trying my best to keep these losses small. So in terms of like actual dollar loss, it's very small this week, but in terms of my accuracy this week, it's been really tough. The market's just been sort of tough. Even the intraday moves that I like to look for are not really working out. A lot of the technical formations that I'm looking at just aren't really working out. So it's just a very difficult market right now. Hard to trust any of the technicals that I see. So yeah, we're gonna have to sort of we're gonna have to wait it out and see what happens. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm definitely gonna be risk off until I see something that is easier to sort of trade. The only thing I will say, and is that we saw extreme money flowing into other sectors yesterday, which we'll talk about today. So it could be just the fact of me traditionally looking at tech a lot. You guys know that I like to look at tech stocks, and tech's under some real pressure. So we have a lot of money flowing into different sectors. XLP consumer staples has been rock solid. XLF financials look pretty decent this morning. The XLV healthcare has been very, very strong. So you're getting some money into other sectors, and that is something that we need to really focus on moving forward. We really need to focus on that moving forward because 6 months ago you'd wake up and you wouldn't even care about what other sectors are moving. You would just see what's going up on tech, where's all the money flowing into tech, and it would be a little bit easier. But right now, this market is not as forgiving, right? This market is not as forgiving. You really need to pay attention to what's hot. Really need to pay attention to what's strong in the market. So it's not going to be right now it's not as fun, I would say, or not as easy. It's not easy mode. It's it's the people that focus on risk management, making sure they're not blowing up accounts, fighting through this little bit of a difficult time, on the market, and hopefully getting through to the back end of it. So yeah, minus QQQ. That's what we can look at. The inverse of the QQQ, right? So yeah, we have to be very flexible. It's very true. And this is, it's cool though, guys, right? I mean, if you're someone that actually truly likes the stock market and you're not just trying to like get rich and you're actually trying to learn about the market, this is actually a pretty interesting time. I actually find it quite fun. I think this is why we're here. It creates a challenge. It improves your skills. You get to learn something new. You get to see different market environments. This is a clear shift in market environment. And if you guys are new to trading, this is probably one of your first huge. I think this is a pretty large rotation right now. I mean, I don't know how long it lasts, but this is a very clear, a very large rotation into different stocks. It's very interesting. It's a good learning lesson. You can see it right in front of your eyes. So if you ever wondered what rotation was, go to yesterday. Look at the chart on the XLP versus the XLK. Just look at those two charts. I'll go ahead and pull them up in today's live stream, but you can see it is complete inverses of each other. So that's what's going on, guys, and we need to prepare for it. So let's make sure we look at everything. Yesterday, I took some small loss. I took a $90 loss on Facebook, $90 loss on Qualcomm. Qualcomm pushed higher in the morning, pulled back, tried to catch it on the pullback, and just continued to pull back. I cut it short. I had my stop in place. and I'm very happy I had my stop in place because that stock went to zero yesterday, basically. I mean, it got killed. And then news came out on an intraday about Apple, potentially not using. I don't even think Apple's going to be using them anymore. So, Qualcomm got crushed yesterday. It looked great, and this is what I'm talking about. It looked great on the daily. Looked great for a setup to the upside. Thought that we had a little bit of a washout in the morning. Tried to catch it on the washout. Put my order in. Put a stop below the lows. Went below the lows, stopped out, took a $90 loss, and sometimes you have to be very grateful for having a stop loss, because if I would have just hoped and prayed yesterday, I would have lost a ton of money. So sometimes it be like that. The midday reversals have been tough. Yeah, I agree. The midday reversals have been a tough strategy lately, and that's something I usually look for, but that's something that's is homework on Qualcomm. Well done, Gerald. Well done. Do you take the downside? All right. So today, futures as always, earnings, economic calendar. We have some Federal Reserve people talking today. I don't think it's going to be much of an New York Fed President John Williams interviewed at 8:30. Not sure that's going to be too big. We'll see. And then Fed Governor Christopher Waller talks about economic outlook to Forecasters Club of New York. So that's 8:30 and 1 o'clock. We'll see if there's any effect on the market at those times. I don't believe so. I mean, I haven't seen these type of events affect the market. But, right here, guys, 8:30 and 1 o'clock on the economic calendar. So that's that. Then we have earnings calendar. So yesterday, FedEx reported earnings. So I'm going to look at FedEx. It actually, I talked to the chat this morning. Like, FedEx looks great technically, but I just have trouble. Yeah, today's quad witching. For anyone wondering what quad witching is, just look it up on Google. Usually what it is it just causes a lot of volatility. So here's your definition for quad witching. For anyone that's interested, you hear about this scary word. It's a date which the stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock futures expire simultaneously. So it causes a lot of volatility. Now, I've gone back and looked at these dates in the past, and there's no consistency of whether the day is going to be red or green. Today looks like it could be a very ugly red day now that the Nasdaq is below 15.7, which we'll talk about in a second. But that I don't think that is just due to quadruple witching. This is just a day that the volume should be pretty high today. That's usually what it is. A lot of moves being made, a lot of expirations going on, and a lot of volatility. May result in increased volume, arbitrage opportunities. Does not necessarily translate to increased volatility in the market. So it's increased volume. It could increase volatility, of course, with that increased volume. Heavy trading volume, in part due to offsetting of existing futures and option contracts that are profitable. So it's going to cause some volatility. It's going to cause some volume increases, but I don't think it's not a given red day. That's not something that is ever said. So keep that in mind. That's today. What's going on with my... Okay. Back to our schedule. Our earnings calendar, we have FedEx yesterday. Today we have Winnebago. Which is our favorite RVs, I guess. And Darden Restaurants. DRI. I think that's DRI, right? Yeah. DRI. Darden Restaurants was earnings this morning. So those are your two earnings this morning. Tech rotation. We'll take a look at it. We'll talk a little bit about it. What's been working? We'll look at the sectors that worked yesterday. Show you guys that rotation that went on. FedEx earnings. I'll show you guys the technicals. I have trouble trusting technicals today. I have had trust issues with technicals lately because I've been, the reason I can say that confidently is because I've continued to trade my same strategy, and it has not worked out very well this week. So if I'm staying along the same strategy that I do, and it's not working, and it used to work very well, then I know that this market has changed a little bit, and I need to understand that. I need to scale down. I need to not go into these positions with a large size because I've seen the win rate come down a little bit. So I need to focus on, being very careful with some of the trades I take, whether I still take them, but really scale down to see if, to just test my strategy. But right now, some of these intraday pullbacks, some of these technical formations have just been a little bit tough to catch. And it's mostly because I've been looking at them on tech. And maybe, I definitely am someone that did not expect the strength of, I did not expect the strength of the rotation again to happen yesterday, because it happened every day prior to the Fed. It happened even stronger yesterday. I thought we'd see a little bit of cooling off of that rotation. I thought you'd see maybe some money back into tech yesterday, and I was obviously wrong about that. So that's that. Yeah, technicals have been tough, especially in this market. At times they're very strong, but when you have this much, stuff going on, these many external factors, macroeconomic news, it gets a little bit more difficult, right? So Tesla gap fill, we'll look at that. I think Tesla's on the verge of filling that gap at 900. Semiconductors. Semiconductors looked fantastic on Wednesday after Fed, and they looked absolutely terrible yesterday. So semiconductors were actually some of the weakest names yesterday. Yeah, stun. It's very true. It's very true. I'm definitely one. I'm not scared to admit that I'm more bullish than bearish at times. And I have sometimes I have problems looking for the downside. I'll look at it. I'll definitely look to play it. But I definitely that's the part of my trading that I want to continuously work on. And I'm not scared to admit it, guys. If you can't admit that you have something to work on, then you are not going to be successful as a trader. So there's always something that we can work on. And for me, it's looking for downside. The reason why traditionally I haven't worked on that this year is because I haven't had to. There has been no reason to play downside for the first 8 months of the year. Starting in September, it started to get important. September, October, November, and start of December has been a little bit more important to get that downside strategy working. But first 8 months of the year, I've had absolutely no problems just playing upside, and just sort of looking for those upside plays, looking for those dip buys, looking for those buying opportunities. Recently, a little bit more difficult. But if you watch me, I am not someone that hides anything. And I'll tell you right now, I definitely can work on my downside plays. That's for sure. So if you don't like it, if you're not going to watch me anymore because I have a weakness, then good riddance. Tesla gap fill, semi fake out. Home Depot under 400. It's very interesting. Home Depot, if it breaks under 400, there's not much support under 400. 20-year chart's always bullish. Yeah, true. There's not much support under 400 on Home Depot. I would definitely watch this. If Dow's weak, Home Depot looks like it could start to slip under this 400. Neo's looking pretty ugly. Now, I'm sorry to anyone that likes Neo long term, but Neo is getting a little bit interesting. It's breaking down some pretty important levels. So I'm going to just show you guys Neo. It sort of piqued my interest this morning. And Roblox. Gap on Roblox. And I want to show you guys the potential for a gap fill there. So that's what I have, guys. And then if you are a member of this YouTube channel, down below, you can join. Press the join button if you see that join button on your screen. If you do join, first of all, I'm working towards doing after-hour streams, so that's something that's definitely coming into next year. I have a lot of things that I want to start next year for the YouTube channel to sort of accelerate the growth. Stand on your head when looking at the charts. That's funny. So I have a lot of things that I want to work on into next year for the channel to help it grow, and that's definitely one of them. And I believe that, being a member of this, I believe the after-hour chats are going to be probably for everyone to watch, but I think what I'm going to do is have it being member-only chat, and then the member-only's chat, you can You just type what you want to see in the chat, and it'll be less people, so it'll be more controlled. So if you guys want to look at anything today, go to my my community tab on YouTube right here. If you go to my YouTube channel, go to community, and if you scroll down, you will see this Google Docs. So make sure to go into there and select what you want to see. All right, is everything look good, guys, on your side? Because my side, this is what I'm getting. So I'm getting this error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So let me know if everything looks good on your end real quick before I continue. Because Kyle Sun, appreciate you, man. Welcome. Welcome to the, if you want to look at a ticker, let me know in that Google Docs. You should be able to see that. And of course, any day forward, moving forward, let me know. I'm working. Yesterday I went to a company that makes T-shirts. So that's another thing I'm working on. I'll show you. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I know. Let me make this. I know we're not getting into our. I'm figured I'll show you like one of the shirts that I like that we're working on. This is a cool one. They're gonna be very modern, very simplistic. What I'm thinking about is doing like quarterly drops, and then sort of like the Nelk Boys, like you never see it again. It's like one style comes out, and then it's like it never comes back. I think that's pretty cool. Let me see if I can find. I got 3 of them here to show you. I'll show you 3. I have like 5 or 6. So here they are. Here's some that are. So the old break and retest. Trend is your friend. Take profits. So I'm trying to work on like modern, simplistic, cool colors, sort of colors that go with my logos, and hopefully put them on some really nice shirts, like sort of maybe like a Lululemon material or like a heavy cotton. So I'm working on it. It's not going to be some low quality stuff. Anything I do, I like to make it look good. So Daniel, if you want to reach out to me, let me know. All right, let's get started. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, Nasdaq. So today, guys, the Nasdaq 15,007 is going to be really, really important. I mean, we are below it right now, and you guys can see the importance of these levels. So this 15.7, this zone here from back in September, is extremely important. The lows of December 3rd and December 4th, right around, what's the low here? Low is 15,538, and make you like it or not, 15,559. So 15,538 is right here. So you definitely do not want to see a break below. You definitely do not want to see a break below 15,538. If you get below that, that is going to be a little bit dangerous, and you're at the 100 SMA. So that is a very important level. 15,538 today. You have this previous low of December 3rd, and you have the 100 SMA. You are going to want to see the market try to hold at that level. If you see that level touch, that is going to be a very important level to hold. If you don't see that level hold, you're going to be trading under the 100 SMA on this market, on the tech market, which is a little bit, I got to say, it's a little concerning. So you definitely want to watch that level, 100 SMA on the Nasdaq. What I'd like to see hold today is 15,007. This has been a very important level. This is September highs, and we are right at it right now. So I would like to see, I like that when in doubt, zoom out. 15.7, I would love to see that hold today. If not, 100 SMA looks to be the spot, which is very possible. Do we come back down to this 100 SMA? That is something I'm interested in. If you break below that, we talked about these levels right in this area, 15,150, let's call it. That would be another pretty important area in my opinion, right where these previous highs were, 15,150. So let's take a second and look at the flip side, right? Because we want to look at both sides. We want to look at both directions. Now, I know a lot of stuff in the market has been very weak. I know it's a little bit irrational to think that what's going on with the Fed and what's going on with tech and the rotation we've seen can warrant any type of upside. But of course, we need to at least look at both sides, both potential opportunities to make sure we're aware of what could happen. So as easy as this market has been rejecting off 16.4, does it bounce off 15.7? I am a little bit less confident to say that on the stream because this is only a little bit of a double bottom. We've only tested this bottom twice, whereas you can see this resistance up here has been tested like 7 or 8 times. So 7 or 8 times this resistance has just shot us down. I wouldn't trust this support as much as you would trust this resistance. So we'll see what happens today. This 15.7 area, it's not just 15.7 on the dot. It's right around this 15. I would say anything below, first of all, anything below these September highs. So let's call it 15.550. So it's sort of that trading range right there. Yeah, it's actually right at that. Yeah, that's exactly where we're looking. So it all sort of lines up, right? It's all of this range. It's all of these September highs. You can see this September high consolidation. You guys see this September high consolidation? That is also sort of where we held the last bounce. And that is also where I would need to see this hold in confluence with the 100 SMA. So I think you have the freedom for the Nasdaq to move within this range down to the 100 SMA. But I think if you break below that 100 SMA, then things get a little bit more interesting. I think you have this range to give it right between 15,550 area and 15.7, so about 150 points to the downside. I think you can give it that move. But anything below that, I think you're starting to break down some pretty nasty levels. If you start to break into this area, there's not much structure from the past, and you're probably coming down to 15,150 pretty quickly. So that's what I'd watch today, guys. This is the level I'd watch. This is a very important level here on the Nasdaq. Yeah, we can look at that uptrend on the daily chart and see where that comes in, because that is something that has been something that's been interesting. So it's this little uptrend here. So you can see it is held here multiple times. So if we ignore all this, you actually can see where that uptrend would come in. It would come in right at these previous highs. So it would actually cross. You'd probably get your uptrend. You probably get these confluenced together right around this 15,150 level. So there's your long-term uptrend. Do you get this pullback to that long-term uptrend? That would probably be where I'd look for if you break that 100 SMA. So there you go, guys. That's the that's the Nasdaq. That's what I'm looking at. 100 SMA, 15.7 would be ideal, or this uptrend. All right, that's the Nasdaq. ES is definitely holding better. And why is the ES holding better? It's because there's more diversification in the ES, right? You have other sectors that have been hot, and the ES has held better, right? Because the Nasdaq, if you guys look at the Nasdaq again, it is back. Basically, it's at September highs right now. If you look at the ES, it is not anywhere near September highs right now. It is still about 2% off September highs. So the ES is definitely outperforming. Does that mean it can continue higher without tech? That's a little bit questionable because it usually moves in unison. So it is something to watch out for, but it has been outperforming because some of those other sectors that have been outperforming. So ideally, you don't want to see a break below here on the ES. That would be a little bit scary. I guess you don't want to say scary, but it would be it would definitely cause some pressure to see a drop below that 45.40. Here's the September highs, and also would be the 100 SMA. So that's what I'm watching on the ES. In the short term, it's a little bit more difficult because you probably are just going to want to watch some of these intraday or these intermediary levels. So like right here, this little double bottom from Tuesday into Wednesday, that's probably something you'd want to see right here. little double bottom on the hourly chart right there. That's probably pretty important. If you break below that, then I would assume you come back to the September low or September highs, right? I think if you break this double bottom on the ES, you're probably coming back down to the September highs. So that's what I would be watching today. Watch that 4,600 level on the ES. Dow has been slightly outperforming as well. You guys can see that here because of the sectors and the stocks that are in the Dow are a little bit more in favor right now. In my opinion, I think you want to see the Dow continue to hold this 35.5. That's the September highs. You can see we're above it. So those September highs come into play quite a bit on all of these indices. So two of them are well above, and one of them is testing those September highs now, and it is tech, right? Because tech is the weakest. So tech is moving lower much more than both the Dow and the ES, and you can see the Dow is just sort of consolidating here. At this point, I really just need to see the Dow hold this 35.5. That's my opinion. RTY is coming in and testing these lows. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Based on Australia, would you just avoid long positions altogether? I would, as of right now, my best plan of action right now on the market alpha is to, first of all, understand what sector's hot that day. So if that takes 30 minutes to understand or 15 minutes to understand, that's fine. I wouldn't trade for the first 15 minutes. I first want to know what sector's hot that day and then what sector's weak that day. I want to know where's the trend going of the day, especially in this market where it's hard to tell in pre-market. So in my opinion, guys, I think you first need to figure out what sector's hot, what sector's not. So yesterday, you probably took about here's XLP yesterday. So I would say it took about, I would say this retest probably solidified some health on the XLP yesterday. So I would say it probably took about 25 minutes to know that the XLP, which is the consumer staple stock, this is the XLP. You can see this is the trend that it was on yesterday. See, straight to the upside. You can see that was a nice retest, another nice higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So you started to see that uptrend. Took about 20 minutes to understand that the XLP, and this is the XLK. I mean, look at the inverse of these stocks. This is the XLK. This is the technology ETF. So instead of making, I mean, it's pretty obvious here. Look at this. So instead of making a higher low and a higher high, the XLK made a lower low and a lower high and rejected right there. So it took yesterday about 20 minutes to understand what sectors were hot, what sectors were not, and then you can go ahead and continue with your trading, right? I think that's the same thing that you're going to have to do here on a daily basis. What sectors get money into it and what sectors are going to fade out, and try to trade in that direction. I personally believe that's probably your best way to look at this market right now. So RTY, I'll finish up real quick. You're right at this huge support, and you definitely need to see this hold right here. You need to see this hold here. So watch out, guys. IWM or RTY needs to hold this support. All right. So real quick, I'm not going to take too much time on this. Tech rotation, high valuation names that have a lot of debt on their balance sheet that are basically operating on borrowed money, which is not all of tech, but it's most of it. It's some of it. Some, startups. Very, very weak right now. People don't like it. Money is flowing out of those sectors, and it's flowing into a few of these guys. So real quick, this is where the money's flowing right now. I'm actually going to show you my watch list. So I created a sectors watch list. So here it is, guys. I know it's hard to see, but you have, so today you have the XLP. Here's the XLP on the daily chart, guys. Look at what it's been doing. Look at that. First, the XLK. Very, very different, right? XLK has been was very, very nasty yesterday. Has been sort of sideways. XLP, vertical. XLE, energy. It's been hot. It was a little bit hot yesterday. Hasn't been as strong as the XLP, but it has been somewhere money has sort of moved into. XLP, very, very big. The XLF has been somewhat okay. Yesterday was a decent day for the XLF. This is financials. And the XLV, that one's been big. Healthcare, very, very interesting. Very big move. So the big two right now, guys, are healthcare and consumer staples. Those two names have been huge. This is XLV. This is healthcare. If I go to the Analyze tab, you can see XLV ETF. Biggest names in the XLV are UNH, J&J, PFE, TMO, Thermo Fisher, Abbott Labs, and AbbVie, ABBV. So those names are hot right now. XLP, this is consumer staples. These are stocks that people need on a daily basis. Procter & Gamble, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Walmart, Costco, Mondelez, Estee Lauder, Altria Group, Philip Morris, Colgate. So everything, toothpaste, soap, all that stuff. Walgreens, Kroger, Hershey, Tyson Foods. So those guys are pushing higher at extreme fashion. So XLP has been on fire. So these things I would watch. These things I would keep an eye out for. Keep an eye on these. How's the real estate? Real estate's been hot too. Here's real estate. Real estate's been pretty hot lately. What's the XLI? Industrials. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely holding up better than tech, right? I think the hottest are probably healthcare and healthcare and consumer staples right now. Oh Jesus, Human, $50. Shit, man. You don't need to do that. I appreciate that. You want me to look at something for you or do something here on the stream? Maybe a ticker to look at. But yeah, no, thank you, man. Appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Human. Thank you so much. All right. Wow. Give a little shout out to Human. I'm not sure. Sorry if I mispronounce it. Shout out to you, man. All right. So that's what's been working on this in this market. Let's go ahead and take a look at FedEx. Let's go ahead and take a look at FedEx. So we looked at the levels on the Dow, 35.5. That's what I'd be watching. All right, guys. So here's FedEx. Let me go ahead and change this. This is sort of throwing me off here. All right, guys. So here is FedEx, and it is a very nice earnings move. And on a day where on a day where the market is strong and I could trust the technicals pretty well, I would say this is a fantastic little flag breakout, right? This is a beautiful flag breakout right here. You can see right here, highs, sort of testing these highs again. And you can see that on earnings, we got the flag breakout, which is pretty interesting. If we go to the daily chart, you can see it as well. Here's the daily chart. Obviously, it's not updated yet it hasn't been updated yet with the earnings move. But you can see that this is a pretty nice little downtrend that earnings was able to push us through, right? So very nice. Now, you can see this level that I have drawn out at 248 was this gap fill area. And it looks like it definitely is above that gap fill area right now. You can see right here, we are above that gap fill area. Now, you can see the green area I have on my chart, right? This little green area. If I go into the shorter term time frames, what you're going to see is that on earnings, we pushed higher, and we have been trying to hold this little green gap fill area. So, in my opinion, guys, today, if you see FedEx hold this gap fill area, then I would potentially see if this can continue today. But if you start to see us fall below this gap fill area and give back some of this earnings move, then I would probably avoid this, because as good as this looks on this flag breakout, you guys can clearly see that here on the 4 hour, a very nice little flag breakout on earnings. I would really want to see us hold above not only that gap fill area, but look at these previous two double tops right here. So you have a double top and you have a double top. So you definitely want to see FedEx hold this area if it pulls back. That is 248. So I'd watch that today, see if it holds 248. If it does, maybe there's a play off of it. Tesla, daily chart. So guys, we have been looking at this gap here on Tesla for quite some time, and it looks like it's, I guess it looks like it's going to fill. So that's right around this 900 level. And we are at 912 this morning. We're at 912. 900 is sort of this gap fill. I guess you could call it. I guess you could call it a little bit higher. What's the high of this candle? 910. Like you could call it 910 right here. If I zoom in, you can see on the daily chart there's a gap, and it starts at 910. So 910. Did we touch that this morning? We did. So we actually went down to 905. So it does look like we potentially are, finding support. Yeah, it looks very clear that we are finding support at that gap fill. You can see right here, very nice support, right? And it seems we are holding that 910 level, and that 910 level is just coming from the high of this candle, which is on the top left of the screen. It shows me is 910. So the high of this candle before the gap started was 910, and it looks like this morning we are riding that level. So I would say we have officially closed the gap on Tesla at 910. Maybe you see psychological 900. Maybe it needs to come down to a psychological level of 900. But if you look at the technicals, it has officially filled the gap this morning. So I would watch Tesla. See what it does off 910. See if it needs to push to 900. If it starts to look weak again like yesterday, if the Nasdaq is extremely weak again today, just look for these rejections. This was actually a very, very clean rejection on the 9 EMA. So if I go to the 9 EMA, what you guys are going to see on Tesla yesterday is right here. It is this little push higher, this 935 candle. Push higher, nasty rejection off the VWAP under the 9 EMA. And Tesla just rejected that line all day yesterday. Basically until this consolidation, and then did it again. So look at this move lower on Tesla. Continue to reject 9 EMA on Tesla. If you put in the minus Tesla, you can see this would have been just a bullish 9 EMA play. So actually very nice there. And you can see exactly what it did. So if it looks like that again today, where it just can't break above the 9 EMA, Elon has been just selling like crazy. That would be concerning. But watch that gap fill at 910, guys. All right, semiconductors. Hindsight is always, I definitely understand that, it's hindsight, of course. But it's good to look at, though. It's definitely good to look at, to understand, to learn from. That's why I like to look at it. To try to improve in the future. Find those nice little opportunities. So Qualcomm, I thought, looked fantastic yesterday. I took a small loser on this play, it got nasty. So really nice little trend here. Nice move higher into this level, and I thought we'd have a little bit of semiconductor strength yesterday, and that was definitely not the case. And a gigantic red candle. I'll show you where I played this. I actually sort of liked the play at the time. This is a 1 minute chart. I was trying to play it off this 189 level right in this area to see if it could hold, sort of make these higher lows and start to hold this 189 area. The reason I used that area is because if I zoom out, it was these previous highs here. So right in this area, this 189, I was looking to see if we can hold these previous levels. 189 right here, 1, 2. I was looking for that intraday reversal. Did not happen. Got stopped out. And the rest is history. I'm happy I did not hold it because Qualcomm got absolutely crushed yesterday. That's sometimes what happens, guys. Daily chart looks fantastic, and it just does not work out. So that is the importance of risk management, the importance of having stop losses, because sometimes the setups just don't look that. The setups look good, but just don't work out. Nvidia is another one that got pretty ugly yesterday. Nvidia rejected that downtrend that we were talking about in the pre-market live stream yesterday. So you guys know we had this downtrend we were eyeing on Nvidia, and what a rejection off of it yesterday. So you can see right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So very nasty rejection off of that downtrend. In my opinion, you just want to see maybe these lows hold right here on this 272 now. If you drop below that, guys, there is really not that much here. So I'm going to go to the volume profile for you. You're at the 50 SMA this morning. Go to the volume profile real quick. And And what you'll see is that below this 272 area, there's a pretty big gap in this volume here, back down to around 230. So, I lose the 700 I was winning. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Why would I lose the $700 on AbbVie? I don't understand. What makes you think that I just lost it? The expiration's in January, and I made the video after hours yesterday, and right now it's pre-market today. So, what sort of happens between after hours yesterday and pre-market today to make me lose my $700 on my AbbVie position? I don't really understand. But anyways, 272. You have some pretty big gap of volume in this area down to 230. So on NVIDIA, guys, if you start to see this thing crack down and if the Nasdaq really starts to weaken, watch NVIDIA in this area. This is a dangerous area for NVIDIA. This is a pretty vertical move higher. I don't know how much support is going to be in this area, so be careful. That's NVIDIA. That's another semi. The last one I'll look at is AMD. AMD, let me go ahead and delete this. AMD, 50 SMA as well. Has had a pretty big move higher as well. What I would be looking for is this area right here. Right around this 118, 120. That's around the 100 SMA. If you start to break down below these lows, right in this area, if you start to break down below 130, then I would be looking for that 118, 120 area. This area is a little bit light probably in support. Right in here, because the next structure point is back here at 120. NVIDIA bullish long term? Absolutely. Absolutely bullish long term. This is just a tough time for the market, guys. It's just a very tough time. I mean, you gotta think a little bit further out if you're a long term investor. Of course, this looks a little bit concerning, but if you see this thing at 230, that's going to be beautiful for an opportunity. So semis a little bit weak. Some levels to watch today. Some of these lows to watch on NVIDIA, 272. On AMD, 130. Watch those lows. Those are going to be important. All right. Home Depot. So Home Depot, this is another gap of volume on the profile that I wanted to show you guys today. So here's the volume profile. And what you'll see is this is a very large gap of volume in this area. So here's Home Depot. And you can see right here, guys, between 400 and this 375, there is a very large gap in this area. So right in this area, very large gap. And I think if you break below 400, I don't know how strong you're going to see the buyers come in. So you can see it's very clear without even using the volume profile. You can see how clear this area is not, there's no structure here, right? There's no structure in this area. It's really just two green candles, two daily green candles. So I think if you start to lose this, if you start to lose steam on HD, I think you're coming back down to 374. This is definitely something I'd watch for, guys. This could be a trade opportunity. But, you're going to need to see maybe a very strong, you're going to need to see that confirmation of downside. That's really what I'd wait for. So watch that as well. That's interesting. Interesting little chart that I would keep an eye out for. NEO. This is why I bring this up on NEO. If I go to the weekly chart, this is not the weekly chart. If I go to the weekly chart, so you were at the 100 SMA on the weekly. So that is something that you could watch today if you're interested in NEO. You've had this long-term downtrend for a very long time, and you've had this support in this area, right? You've had support in this area right here around this 33, 34 level. You can see that. So we had this area, but what did NEO recently do? Over the last week, NEO pushed back higher and tried to bounce back above this support and rejected it. It turned it into resistance. So NEO is turning previous support into resistance, moving lower. If NEO does not hold this 100 SMA, this is difficult price action to trust. You guys see this right here? See all these weekly candles to the left? There's not any like highs, lows, structure, consolidation. There's nothing to really see here. So I would be just cautious of NEO, guys. Watch this 100 SMA. If you're invested in this stock, watch this 100 SMA. See if that holds. You need to see this thing get back above this 35. Or, I'm a little bit cautious of, what support is going to hold in this area. So that's what I'd watch, guys. Watch NEO at this 100 SMA. Just wanted to bring that up. Make sure you guys are aware of what's happening there. And then finally, Roblox on the daily chart. Roblox, it's laggy. Yeah, I see it's a little laggy. Is it still bad? I saw it was lagging a little bit. Let me know. I'm waiting for your comments. It's always a little delayed. Your comments in the chat are always a little delayed. I don't know why I've been having problems today. My internet seems to be a little slow lately. Better now? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with... Yesterday I was getting some really slow speeds as well. Alright, anyways. Roblox, you can see this little gap here on the Roblox daily chart. And this is something that I would be watching. If you break below the lows of this candle, 93s. So I think if you break below 93, that would be somewhere that I would be watching. This gap could fill. This is a gap fill on Roblox, and that's something that would be something I'd be watching right here at 93. All right. So that's what I have. I still see that it's lagging, so I'm not sure what's going on, guys. I'm sorry if it's lagging on your side. I don't know if it's my connection. It's Xfinity, yeah, Xfinity. This is first just randomly over the last few days, it's been causing some weird slowdown. Like my video on YouTube took a while to upload. All right, so hopefully it's okay. That's what we have for today's stream. If we want to go over to some of the stocks that you guys want to look at, let's go ahead and get started with that. We have X. First one is X. So that's U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel. Here's the daily chart. U.S. Steel had a nice day yesterday. We definitely saw that. You saw that right here yesterday. It had a good day, but oh wow, I didn't even realize this. What happened in the after hours? I did not realize that. Oh, okay, they set out a EBITDA outlook, Q4 EBITDA outlook. All right, so that's a little bit concerning. That caused that to move lower. Before that, it was a very nice day for X. But yeah, that end of day outlook that they provided does not look so good for it. Is U.S. Steel a stock that I would be looking to trade? I don't know, guys. It's just it's a pretty sideways stock. I would just watch for intraday momentum maybe, and maybe try to scalp it or something if you really want to be trading U.S. Steel. Personally, it's not really a stock I would try to trade. I would just watch this 22 area as support if you're really interested. Watch that 22. Amazon, I just don't like Amazon, guys. I don't know. I don't like how the stock trades. It's very volatile. I know some of you guys in the Discord do pretty well at trading it. If you are accustomed to it. But here on the weekly chart on Amazon, this is really what I'd be watching. Weekly chart on Amazon. That's really the most important chart in my opinion. You can see this uptrend, which has been very strong. Uptrend, top around this 35.20. You just want to see a break in a certain direction. Once you see a break in certain direction, I think you can catch a pretty nice move. But until then, this thing has been very, very choppy within this very tight ascending triangle here. So watch for that. Watch this uptrend on the weekly and watch that 35.20. Those are what I'd watch. AMAT, Applied Materials. So here is the daily chart. You can see we're getting into a pretty tight consolidation, but what's nice is that it's holding these previous highs, right? So I gotta sneeze. Maybe not. I thought I had to. So 143, you guys can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have, look at all these holds at AMAT. So if you're watching AMAT, if you're looking to trade it, just watch this 143. I think that's a must hold. If you do, maybe look for maybe some type of a breakout of these highs here, because right now it's in a pretty tight consolidation zone. So I would be careful trading it within, because you can see, look how volatile it's been within. One day up, one day down, one day up, one day down. It's been very volatile within this range. So watch 143 to the downside and 159 to the upside. I do like how it's making previous resistance into support. That is something that looks pretty good. Rivian. Yeah, guys, I mean, Rivian makes no money. So, I mean, I'm not someone that's going to buy this stock. I'm not someone that's going to trade it. But, yeah, it makes no money. It had earnings last night. It fell. I think it's crazy that they won Truck of the Year. I think it's sort of comical. It's not even out. Yeah, so here's Rivian. You can see earnings breakdown. I don't know if this market's going to be very, very kind to IPOs that make no money, sort of like Hood. Here's Hood since IPO. I don't know how kind this market is going to be to Rivian, a stock that makes no money, has no earnings, and is breaking down some important levels. So I'd be careful. I don't know if this market, once we see, maybe once we see markets that don't care about valuation anymore, if that money comes back, maybe Rivian. But right now, that money's not here. That money is in consumer staples, really. Finally, Roku. I would keep your money away from this stock. I still don't think it's finding any support. You have RK that continues to buy it, which is pretty astonishing. But, it did try to hold this 201. It actually held up yesterday pretty strong. I'm really not sure how. This is Roku yesterday. It really makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely zero sense to me, actually. Roku was green on the day yesterday when the market was falling. I'm not really sure how. I'm sure this was just heavily buying from ARK, maybe. I would assume it was. I think someone talked about what ARK. Did ARK buy more Roku anyone last night? Let me know. But yeah, Roku was strong yesterday. Is this a stock that I would touch in this market environment to the upside? I would be very cautious, guys. Maybe if you see some momentum into the tech sector today, maybe you can play this. I would watch this double bottom around 200. Maybe you hold there. But what the 20 SMA... downside continuation. I'll take a look at that. Sorry, Ike. Roku, 20 SMA has been rejected every time. So watch that 20 SMA rejection. So Rivian, downside continuation. I mean, it's possible, right, Ike? I mean, it's definitely possible. Let me see something here. What I would watch today is I would watch the rejection of these levels. If you see Rivian hold below 100, that's right at 100. Damn. If you hold 100 right here, you could see if you reject that level, which you are already, you can see right here. Look at this. So if you continue to reject 100, I would definitely look for the downside on Rivian. Yeah, as long as you hold below 100. Why do I say that? Because if I go to the day or the 4 hour, you can see this was previous support. That could turn into resistance. If you see that, yes, downside should be there. That is the same thing as a break and retest to the upside, right? Look at this. All right, so 100. So break and retest. If I go to the shorter term time frames, You can see we're holding that retest level at 100, and that could be a very nice opportunity. So yeah, if you want to look for downside on Rivian, I would look for it to stay below 100 and then play it to the downside. All right, guys. That is what I have for you today. Press that like button for me. That would really, really help out. I want to let you guys know of some things for the give. I want to make sure you know about the giveaway. So if you guys want to enter the giveaway, it's going to come up on your screen in a second here. There's a link down below for the giveaway right here. Free year in the Discord, MSI keyboard. Shout out to MSI. And $100 Amazon gift card. If you want to enter to win that, there's a link down below. It says giveaway. All you need to do is enter. It's completely free. The next thing is if you ever had interest in joining the Discord chat, I'm doing some specials for you guys on till the end of the year. If you want to come in and just see what it's all about, 50% off your first month. It's only for 1 month. My goal with this is just to see some of you guys in there. I would love to connect with some more of you guys in that environment. It's much more personable. It's much more collaborative. I can actually talk to you all day. So if you wanna come hang out with some of us that are in these live streams, that are watching the YouTube channel, come hang out. That is an incentive for you. And then if you want to join yearly, it's $100 off your yearly total. So those are some things we're doing. Giveaway, Discord, and feel free to take advantage. If not, totally okay with me, guys. Come hang out in the live streams. That's my favorite. I love talking to you guys in the live streams. So thank you guys for being here. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a safe trading day. Wrap up the week strong. Even if you don't find anything you like, wrap up the weekend. Go enjoy your weekend. Go take some rest off, guys. The market sometimes is tough, and the weekends are so important. I know this week has been tough for me, and I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend to relax, to get my mind right, to sort of decompress, and to come back next week strong. So thank you, guys. Press that like button, and have a great weekend, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.